This must be the door that leads to the cells. This must be the door that leads to the cells.
And who are you?
I've come to talk to you about Tumblety.
So you're here to kill me, are you?
Absolutely not. I've come on behalf of someone you know, who told me you have some explosive news about this American. In exchange, he has settled your bill on the kayaks.
You ain't no street person, you. You're a bobby, trying to wind me up, aren't you?
Not at all. Will you agree to talk?
Not a chance. I'll give nothing away for nothing. I don't have to follow Bluto's orders. I'm in it up to my neck, and the bobbies won't agree to keep me locked up here for the rest of my life.
You mean to say that you are here of your own accord?
Damn right. Only death awaits me out there. I was almost lynched because I was blamed for the murder of those poor girls who were chopped up like animals. The police put me here for my own safety. That's when this journalist showed up.
A journalist?
I socked him once for disrespecting me down at the pub. He said I'd pay for it one day, and that day came. He said he was going to squeal to the papers about me. With my description and my tattoos and all, I was arrested at the same time the police said they'd caught the Whitechapel killer. While waiting to write the article, he started the...
I understand. Listen, if I find this journalist and make him promise to not write a word about you, and if I also agree to pay for you to get out of London, will you tell me everything you know about Tumblety?
You sure know how to speak to ruffians, don't you? You got yourself a deal.
What's the name of this journalist?
Bulling. Tom Bulling.
Tom Bulling? That name sounds familiar. That wouldn't be the journalist that Watson met at the Wasp's Nest.
Huh?
Ah, no, nothing. I was just thinking aloud. Well, I'll be going, Squibby.
You're right. It ain't healthy here.
I shall leave Bluto's treasure at the station. The police will know what to do with it. I shall leave Bluto's treasure at the station. The police will know what to do with it.
Hey, but what are you up to here, you? Off with you, and make it quick before I take you in.
Let's go to the Wasp's Nest. Let's go to the Wasp's Nest. No, if Bluto sees me, it could prove to be quite dangerous. Let's return to Baker Street to change. Evening. A pint for me and have one for yourself. I'm looking for a journalist, a good client of yours. Goes by the name of Bulling. Ring any bells?
Haven't seen him for a day or two. He must be sleeping it off somewhere. Where to hide from the landlord when you owe some serious bread?
What paper does he work for?
I don't know, but I can't believe that he works at his rag, because he's always round the pub scribbling his useless papers. The last time I seen him, he spent a whole day at that table drinking and scratching away from morning till night. He finished by celebrating, and without the help of a rich chap, he would have fleeced me of a guinea.
Thank you, my friend.
That's nothing.
Good evening. There'll be a nice tip in it for you if you can tell me if you recently saw a journalist here.
Yes, sir. A damn nuisance, that man. And a real cad. He cursed me out something fierce for staining a book that he put down, even though it was him who was shaking so much that he soiled it with a whole lot of ale.
He was reading a book?
Oh, not a real book. A halfpenny rag. He put it down on the ground, and I put it in the paper bin for the stove. It should still be there if it weren't already put in the fire.
Goodbye, miss.
At your service, me lord.
Some paper, ink stains. This must be the table where Bulling writes his copy. Spring-heeled Jack, a fantastical character that terrorizes the population of London. This journalist has some far from cheerful reading.
What'll it be?
Some paper, ink stains. This must be the table where Bulling writes his copy. Let's return to Baker Street. Tom Bulling isn't here, but the Baker Street irregulars should be able to track him down. Perhaps Watson will have something to tell me in the morning.
Up at last, Holmes. Were you able to get anything from that crook at the Wasp's Nest yesterday?
Not yet, but I am working on it. And yourself, Watson, what were you able to find out from your colleague about the sale of second-hand female parts?
Holmes? Well, actually...
Let it be, Watson. It was tiring, no doubt.
Well, as soon as I mentioned the possible existence of a black market dealing in human parts, everyone in the hospital became very tense. This silence, therefore, tells us more than anything else at this point.
However, I have trouble believing that such a peculiar dealing as that involving Annie Chapman's uterus could have gone unnoticed in the medical community, if that is indeed what happened.
That's my opinion, as well as that of my old university colleague. He maintains that any form of organ trafficking would be impossible, not to mention unnecessary. However, he did tell me something rather troubling. The unexplained disappearance of several corpses from the hospital morgue. He has allowed me to investigate, provided I do so discreetly, and here is what I found, concealed in what appeared to be a secret letterbox.
Interesting, an encoded message.
Indeed, and look, the symbol of a certain well-known Spartaca encyclopedia is printed on it. Perhaps it will help in deciphering the letter.
Thank you, Watson. Are you going out again?
I promised a new patient, Captain Stenick, I'd go round to examine him. He lives nearby. I may be back before you've had a chance to decipher this mysterious message.
Good. Let's decipher the encoded words in the message that Watson found at the London hospital. Elementary. My dear Watson, I congratulate you on your investigation. This letter seems to well and truly confirm the organized trafficking of bodies in London.
My God, how dreadful.
Watson, we must go to the address that appears in this message. I would suggest you take your weapon.
It hasn't left my side since the beginning of this whole affair, Holmes.
I'll also be putting on my workman's disguise again. One never knows.
But what about me, Holmes?
Stay as you are, Watson. At worst, you can pass as my employer. Find Wharfdale Road on the map of London, Watson.
Understood, Holmes. Yes, I have, Holmes.
Here we are, Watson, 17 Wharfdale Road. Let's be careful.
You think so, Holmes? This house seems to be abandoned.
Given the layer of dust accumulated in the square, this door must rarely open. Closed. This lock is solid but very old. I should be able to force it. This wheel is in good shape, but it is impossible to remove it. The pin holding it is stuck. If we lift a board from this window, we should be able to pass through. But first we have to get ourselves up there.
You are joking, Holmes?
This trolley seems to be in good condition, apart from the broken wheel, of course. A tarred cover. There, this piece of tarpaulin is very thin, but solid enough for our purposes.
But what the devil are you doing, Holmes?
Given the layer of dust accumulated there, by sliding this piece of tarred tarpaulin, I was able to quite simply force the lock. Let's go in.
Incredible!
These jars contain chemical products. I have no idea what they are for. This door was recently reinforced. Impossible to open it. A trapdoor. We must find a way to get down through it, Watson.
Incredible!
Excellent. Now, on to the next step. I will go down alone, Watson. Try to cover for me if someone should happen along.
Understood, Holmes.
coffin, recently made and already broken. A pointed poker, this is sure to come in handy. Clothing that appears to be destined to be incinerated. Closed. Numerous footsteps. Apparently this passage is used frequently. It is a stretcher that can be dismantled into 2 pieces. I have to find a way to take it upstairs, I think. I'll be needing it. Here's an electrical mechanism. Turning the handle should supply it with energy. It would seem that there is a broken connection. Excellent. Now, on to the next step. This box is broken. The wires must be reconnected. Pray, think. Elementary.
That's good, Holmes. I don't know why you brought this thing back up, but I can take it.
Perfect, Watson. This bent key just needs a little repair job to make it usable. Rings, wedding rings, gold teeth. I daren't imagine where they came from. Pincers. A hammer. I'll take it. This may come in handy. Let's hope that it really is the key to this door.
And so, Holmes?
This wheel is in good shape, but it is impossible to remove it. The pin holding it is stuck. This wheel is in good shape, but it is impossible to remove it. The pin holding it is stuck. This wheel is in good shape, but it is impossible to remove it. The pin holding it is stuck. This old box must have held nails a long time ago. Nothing of interest. This wheel is in good shape, but it is impossible to remove it. The pin holding it is stuck. These little metal instruments are rather curious. I'll take one. This little instrument will serve perfectly as a pin punch.
But what the devil are you doing, Holmes?
Elementary.
But what the devil are you doing, Holmes?
This stone was blocking the wheel. This stone was blocking the wheel. Excellent. Now, on to the next step. Look, if we lift a board from this window, we should be able to pass through. But first, we have to get ourselves up there.
You are joking, Holmes?
I hope this ladder will support my weight. Let's go.
My God, Holmes, where are we?
For us to find out, my friend. This woman is dead, Watson.
Yes, several days ago, Holmes, but the body is perfectly preserved. No odour, no visible decomposition. Look, Holmes, a label from the London hospital. It must be a corpse stolen from the London hospital.
Someone made up this corpse. The lips have been coloured and the rings around the eyes carefully camouflaged. Yes, somebody wanted to give the impression of life.
To what end?
Strange smell. What do you think, Watson?
A zinc chloride solution without a doubt. A product generally injected into cadavers to help preserve them.
Some makeup applicators. Someone made up this corpse. The lips have been coloured and the rings around the eyes carefully camouflaged. Yes, somebody wanted to give the impression of life.
To what end?
Glass eyes in all shapes and all colours. It's a puzzle box. Let's see if I can open it. It's a puzzle box. Let's see if I can open it. This square object is very unusual. This letter speaks of a sign of recognition. Interesting. This cheap jewel must be an accessory of some sort. This may come in handy. These clothes are new, just like the deceased's dress. I imagine her clothes were changed. Look at this photo. It is inscribed Ethel Broomstreet, 1851 to 1878. This young woman who died 10 years ago looks like the one stretched out on this table. Watson, this corpse was embalmed and made up and dressed to look like a woman who had died 10 years earlier. Amusing. This old photo shows a young man dressed after the fashion of an employee in front of a shop. The man in the photo taken in 1883 and the one on Prince Raskolnikov's leaflet are one and the same, and no more a prince or a Russian than you or I, Watson. All is clear, Watson. A charlatan passing himself as a prince, making the dead come back by using corpses as puppets.
Which explains the disappearance of corpses at the London hospital. It was to fuel this sordid entertainment. Holmes, I hear a cab stopping in the courtyard. Someone's coming.
It is probably the dealers, Watson, but instead of running, what if we were to meet them, if we managed to win their trust?
You are joking, Holmes?
Oi, what you doing there, you? It's private in here.
Calm down, we aren't here as tourists. We have come to collect our packet.
Oh, well then, you just had to say. I was told that you weren't no tramps, but I weren't expecting that you was... Well, given your get-up, I guess your boss.
Yes.
Well, the subject ain't ready yet. I ain't done with it yet. You'll have to come back.
Well, that's, a real problem.
Say, we have personal orders too, for some organs. You wouldn't know where we can find them.
What type then?
Kidney, uterus.
Oi, I don't hack up my dollies. That's the work of an artist.
But you wouldn't happen to have a colleague who might furnish this type of item.
No, you can't make a copper doing that nowadays. Since the bigwigs made it easy to get stiffs, the medical schools are bursting with bodies to carve up. Docs and students have got all they need. Business is dead. For a few coppers, hospital bloke might help you out, but I don't know for sure. They'd be right in for it if they got caught. It probably just ain't worth it.
I understand. And what do you do with the corpses once you're finished with them?
I don't bother myself with that. For one thing's for sure, after the séance they're good for nothing but chucking out. I ain't Napoleon's embalmer.
Well, if you'll excuse...
He's got a funny way of talking, you.
Oi, it's normal. He's a brain, you see. A thinker at that. Seize you round, old man.
So, Holmes, the corpses that have disappeared from the London hospital are used during séances. Nothing to do with organ trafficking.
Yes, it all suggests nothing of the kind is underway in London. In the medical world, all dealings would be visible, not to mention unnecessary. The crook we met confirmed this viewpoint. It's hard to imagine, therefore, that our Whitechapel killer perpetrated these massacres with the goal of selling the organs.
What lead should we follow now, Holmes?
Try to learn more about Tumblety. This squibby should give us some information, but first I must stop the journalist Tom Bulling from harming him. I hope my secret police will soon have some information on him. While we wait, Watson, I would ask you to inform your colleagues of your recent discoveries. It would be good if these morbid, ghostly spectacles stopped, and this will need to be done at the London hospital.
You are right, Holmes.
Another false lead followed by the police, Holmes. Yesterday's Times says that a John Fitzgerald, who had claimed responsibility for the murder of Annie Chapman, has finally been released. He was, it says, lying.
That's of little importance, Watson.
It's incredible. It's been more than 3 weeks since the murderer struck, and the tension is as strong as ever. The press won't stop talking about him, and people are still full of fear. Perhaps the killer got what he wanted, people talking about him, and has chosen to stop committing crimes. What do you think, Holmes?
I doubt it, Watson. Everything leads me to believe that he is in hiding and waiting for the right moment. The area is packed with police, and that would obviously hamper his work.
You think he will start again, Holmes?
I have every reason to believe nothing will stop him short of his arrest or his death. Sadly, our investigation has reached a dead end, and I fear that we'll need another victim to get back on track.
Yes, how awful. And what of the case of the burnt mat? Have you resolved that?
Oh, that's a matter of little interest, and resolving will be of no benefit, above all to Miss Fleming. Ha! I hear the footsteps of my faithful Wiggins on the stairs. The game is afoot again, Watson.
Mr. Holmes, the scribbler resurfaced. At last word, Pounce saw him racing to Central News Agency where he works.
Excellent, Wiggins. And still nothing on the doctor?
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. He's one sleek yank, but we'll find him.
Good work. Here's something for you. I must leave you, Watson. If I can get my hands on this bulling, I will have much more interesting news on the bothersome Tumblety. I have only to change. If you can, Watson, I entreat you to stay here and await my word. We may not be more than two when the time to act comes.
You can count on me, Holmes.